All right, welcome back to This Week at Church 520.
Hello.
Woo! We made it another week. We had some great times. Remember last week we talked about David's comfort being rejected by the new king of Ammon and all the fun stuff that happened with that and the crazy battles that ensued.
Yep.
And we're going to pick right back up in 2 Samuel.
In 2 Samuel
11, if you'd like to follow along in that fun jazz. We'll also have it up on the screen for you. It would just be a paraphrase, but you can read along as we go. And I'm sure you've seen it by the heading, but we're going to spill some 3,000-year-old tea that's probably cold at this point. Not so piping hot.
Piping hot tea. Some
But
hot goss.
We are going to discuss I would say probably the most famous account of adultery within the Bible, right?
You know what it is.
Yep.
You know.
So, if you remember right, it's kind of been a thing of the Ammonites and Israelites kind of going button heads lately.
Yep.
And this week is going to be no different, right? Because it was that time of year where the kings go out to the battle and do their fighting.
It's the time of the year?
Yeah.
They have fight time?
Yeah, it says it happened in the spring of the year at the time when kings go out to battle.
So they just didn't battle other times?
Well, they had seasons.
That's so weird.
Like a sporting season.
They're like, okay, everybody. It is harvest season. It is battle season.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone at the ready.
Yeah.
Farmers, gather your forks. It is time to go. It is battle season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I ever, even on Sunday, I did not even pick up that. And the time when kings go to bed, there's no sneaking. It's like, can you please just wait till the spring when battle time comes? It's battle time.
Yeah.
Battle season.
Well, and if you think about it, if it's in the springtime, it's starting to get warmer. What happens when it gets warmer? People get testy.
People get testy. They want to be outside playing.
Little fighty McFidersons.
Yeah.
Right? And they just kind of go at it. Yeah. So
if it's all muddy, it's a perfect time to go slip slide. And that was one of the funnest times to play football was in the mud. You just squeak everywhere. So I can imagine squelch, squelch, squelch. Just go out there.
Did not care for the mud. Oh. I much rather played in the cold.
Oh, snow was so fun to play in too. Oh, I loved playing football in the snow. It's also kind of like mud because you. Anyway, battle season.
Just cold.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't like the messy stuff.
Cold, yeah, it's true. Cold would be much better than the hot of your summers. Mm-hmm. That's for sure. Okay, continue. So it's battle season.
It's battle season, and it's time for the people of Ammon to be dealt with, and also them to take over Rabbah. Yeah. Which Rabbah is in the Ammonite area, right? Jordan. Which is now modern day Jordan. Mm. And the area there is actually called Amman now to pay homage to the Ammons that were there originally. But this was their religious center, the center of their land.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
But David remained in Jerusalem, so he wasn't actually going out with his peoples.
He wasn't going to fight.
He was staying back.
And kings would go fighting.
Kings would go fighting.
Saul went fighting.
Well, and if you notice, this is kind of a pattern, right? Because last time he sent Joab out, and then finally came out after, Dad's going to come take care of it.
Yeah.
right?
And that's when he was like, okay, boys, you stay here while your beards grow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But he definitely initially did not go out until they were like, hey, we're going to need some assistance. We're going
Right.
to need an adultier adult to come take care of this.
Right. So, I mean, it's kind of a thing, right? It's almost like he's feeling good about where he's at in life
Yeah.
and just kind of like chillaxing.
Yeah. I mean, he's had to fight his whole life. Maybe he's just trying to take a break.
Yeah. But
Or maybe he's saying he deserves a break.
Or something. He's got a city now.
Yeah.
Right. Which is all speculation, but
yeah, we have
just,
no idea, actually.
Just one of those things. It just seems like he's kind of laying back a little bit.
I mean, it doesn't say he could have had a hurt shoulder. We don't know, really. But he didn't go. He stayed in Jerusalem.
I would say he didn't have a hurt shoulder with what's about to happen.
Well, we don't know how much time.
But anyway, troops are out.
Yeah.
Doing their thing.
Mm-hmm.
David's in bed. He got up in the middle of the night one night. And we don't know why. Maybe he was concerned about the war. Maybe he wasn't.
Maybe
he had restless leg.
Bladder. We don't know.
Yeah, we just don't know for sure. No. But he was walking along this roof and saw a pretty little lady doing her thing in the bath. Yep. And obviously caught his eye.
Yeah.
And said, hey, go find out who that is. Mm-hmm. And when they found out who it was, they said, hey, isn't that Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam and the wife of Uriah the Hittite?
Yeah, that should have been it.
Then David sent his messengers, took her, and then he did the thing.
He laying with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how much laying he was doing, but he did a thing to where she conceived a child.
Yeah.
Which
that's what it was called.
Is pretty craptacular.
It's not great because that's not his wife. That's Uriah's wife.
Mm-hmm. So, and something to know about this is Eliam was an advisor to David. Mm-hmm. And Uriah is part of his fighting force that's with Joab.
That's true.
Right?
True.
So these people were kind of interconnected, and that's kind of, I'm assuming that's why they're name dropping here. Like, this is who this person is.
But also, wouldn't he know that that's the wife of Uriah if they were so close?
I didn't say they were close.
They might have been close at one point, and maybe he got married after that. Because David's been off doing his own thing.
I never said they were close.
I just assumed they were close.
That he should have known who they were.
He should have.
Right?
I would think he would.
Yeah, he would have known who his advisor was, but not necessarily who their kid was.
Right, but if their advisor and one of his best battle buddies.
It doesn't say he's his best battle buddy.
I don't know. They
anywhere in there.
I guess he did have huge armies, so
right.
He could maybe have just been like, oh yeah, I know that guy. He's doing pretty good. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So in that, he did a thing. There's a kid now, and he's like, oh no.
What am I going to do?
I got to cover this up. So he sends for Uriah to come back from the battlefield, and he kind of does it under this guise of like, hey, tell me how the battle's going. How's everything going out there?
Yeah.
And, he tells him his thing, and he's like, okay, now go to your house, wash your feet, be with your wife.
Take a break.
Mm-hmm. And essentially, it doesn't say that he said, yeah, he would do that or whatever, but instead, he just goes outside the king's house and just lays on the streets.
He does not go to see his wife.
He does not.
Does not.
And David finds out, and he's like, what in the world are you doing, dude? Why didn't you go see your wife?
Yeah. Why didn't you go home, man?
Mm-hmm. And it's like,
well,
he was questioning in like maybe to find out why, but also like flabbergasted questioning. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah. Maybe like, I told him to go. Like, why didn't you go?
Yeah.
Why would you
Why are you making this harder on me?
Go home.
right?
Yeah. Also, why did you not go home?
Yeah, for sure. So, and Uriah very nobly said, "Hey, the guys are out in the field. I'm not going home to see my wife. Why should I get the comfort
When they
of
don't.
my bed
Yeah.
and my wife
Yeah.
while my guys are out there?"
They're all still fighting. Very
So,
honorable man.
I am not going to do that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And David
So,
said, "All right, go ahead." No, he didn't.
no, he sure did not.
No, he didn't. He said, "Hey, Uriah,
You're going to actually stay here for a couple more days.
and I'm gonna get you drunk."
That's not, he didn't say that, but
He did not say that. Well, that's what he did.
he did. He made him feast and he fed him alcohol and got him inebriated. Hopefully, he would make a decision differently than what he was currently
He was
making.
hoping that he would
And
forget his morals if he got him wasty.
and the guy decided to stumble right out of the king's house and lay in the same spot.
Yeah. He's like, "This is good, actually. I'll be right here."
Yep, I'll be right here. So with that, David is obviously
Irritated.
beside himself because he can't figure out how to
Nervous.
get this guy
Feeling
to
guilty.
sleep with his wife. So
Dude, come on now. I want to sleep with her. Why don't you want to sleep with her?
so that this child will be considered to be
Legit.
Uriah's,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But nevertheless, that's not what happened. So he's like, finally gives up and
Like,
sends
I know.
Uriah
Ding.
back to the battlefield with a note.
He
And
carries his own note.
they don't know yet. Just chillax.
I'm just letting you know.
Give it a second. Let it marinate. Okay. So he sends Uriah back to the battlefield with a note that says, "Hey, put this guy in the hottest part of the battle.
Mm-hmm.
And when he's up there,
Run away. Let him
have
alone.
everybody else run away so that he could die."
Mm-hmm.
Right? And mind you, Uriah is carrying this note. So David is killing the messenger.
He really is. He really is.
He is. So,
Yeah.
and then we find out for what the guy has to follow king's orders, right? And I'm sure Joab doesn't know exactly what's going on.
No, but I'm sure he's like, why?
Yeah.
But maybe he was like, yeah, I'm a good fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Let's really go get him. Doesn't know and like doesn't have a chance to turn around to see that everybody else is fleeing behind him.
All right. So Joab does the thing, puts him right where he needs to go to do the thing, right? Mm-hmm. And they retreat. He dies, and then Joab is going to send a messenger back to David so he can give him a battle report.
Here's your battle report.
And he's like, "Hey, tell him this is what we did. We got really close. Some people, died.
We lost some people.
And this is what happened." And if David gets upset about why did you get so close to the wall, be like, "Hey, by the way, Uriah's dead."
Mm-hmm.
So,
we also lost Uriah. Oh no!
Right. So obviously, Joab is expecting kind of a angry David.
Yeah, but you would think he just sent a letter being like, put him in a hot spot and murder him. Mm-hmm. And then if he was like, okay, battle report, we went to a really hot spot and we lost people.
Right.
Oh, also he died. Well, obviously, like bad things are going to happen when you go to a bad part of the fight. Like,
yes. But my inkling is that it was more than what should have been acceptable, which is why he was holding back. This is only summations, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't actually say that. because we can see in David's rebuttal to this report is like, why in the world would you get that close? Because don't you know that's, a stone got thrown over a wall and crushed Abimelech, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's this thing. But anyway, it doesn't say that David got mad. It just says this is what the messenger told him.
Yeah.
Right. And David responds to that and says, haha, okay, well, don't be mad, bro, but now go take the city that you just retreated from.
He's like, people live and people die.
Mm-hmm.
But just take the whole thing now.
Uh-huh. So,
yeah.
In that, Uriah's wife, poor lady, found out that Uriah was dead. So she had her time of mourning. And then after she was done doing that, she became David's wife.
Yeah.
Which is a really sad situation that went on there. And then we also find out that God was very displeased with all of this. He wasn't
happy.
Yeah, he was not happy one flipping bit. Happy. Mm-hmm. But, so that's what we covered.
Yeah.
This week in this whole really messed up situation.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the big things that we saw in there is that
flip screen.
Yeah. One of the things that we saw in there is that there's temptation in there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's temptation in the world today, right?
Yeah.
And that is something that we need to guard ourselves against. And that's our first key takeaway, is to guard ourselves against temptation.
Yeah.
And in Proverbs very much talks about don't get in the way of the wicked, right? It's going to cause you to have issues, and also to guard your heart against temptation.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second key takeaway is flee temptation. David did not flee the temptation. He actually ran towards it.
He embraced it. He made babies with temptation.
Yeah, he sure did.
Not that she did it on purpose, but he did it.
I don't think you need to defend her. I don't think anybody's thinking that.
Oh, I was taught growing up from a few different people that because she was bathing in public, it was her fault. And I was like,
Well, it doesn't say
she's kind of
was in public. And, with him being up in the palace, right? He would have a downward view into whatever backyard.
Right.
And I'm sure they weren't bathing inside.
Yep.
At that point. Right.
Yeah. No, we were taught that it was that she was bathing in like the courtyard and was like, I'm like, but it's the middle of the night. She was like, yes, but I was like, okay. Anyway, just a little,
right.
Just a little past. Yes, it was not her fault.
Right.
Continue.
Yeah, I don't think she had a choice in any of this matter.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be from the first issue with David to marrying him. Mm-hmm. I don't know that she had a choice in any of it.
Yeah.
But with that, yes, we should flee temptation.
Flee it.
And we get a very good representation of that in Genesis when you have Joshua. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Joshua, what? What did he
do? He was trying Joseph. There you go. Gosh, you got the J.
I was like, Joshua. What did Joshua do?
I was trying to get you to say, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Anyway, I was confused.
About. Joseph.
Okay.
It's a J name.
Now my brain's restarted. Joseph.
Yes.
and Potiphar's wife. So
Mm-hmm.
Joseph was trying to do the honorable thing, do the things that he needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, Potiphar's wife wanted
Piece of work.
him to do,
Something for
stuff.
her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
And he said, nope.
he said no, and she had pursued him for a while, and then finally she was in a place that he came into, and there was nobody else around, and she really went for it, and he said nope, and ran away. Unfortunately, he left a piece of clothing behind, and then she accused him of said thing.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he ran like the wind.
Yeah. You know, like when you're playing chase as a kid and it's tag and someone grabs your jacket and you like wheel your arms out and keep running.
Mm-hmm.
Joseph did that.
Yep.
He said, no, thank you.
Yep.
That's yuck.
So he had a whole other thing, but he actually fled the temptation because it would have been a temptation.
Mm-hmm.
Even though that's something he didn't want to do, it would have been a temptation for him. So, and then last key takeaway is that we need to lean on Christ during temptation.
Yeah.
Right? We need to lean on Him when the things come up in this world because it is crazy. And in the Bible, it talks about how He will not give you anything more than you can handle. And the key thing with that is, I think He won't give you anything more than you can handle with Him, right?
There
Because with Paul in that verse is actually talking to Christians who have the Holy Spirit and have that extra guidance going on with them, that they're not just relying on their own understanding, which the Bible and other places say, don't lean on your own understanding because it's going to lead you astray.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Is that because all that is deceitful?
Mm-hmm. So just we got to make sure that we're leaning on Christ when temptation comes, because it's going to come. It's going to happen. We even see that in Thessalonians that Paul was concerned for them, but heard the report from Timothy about how well they were doing and that they were doing really well amid tribulations. And in those tribulations, I'm sure there was temptations to do the easy thing, to get away, to do something different and get away from the tribulations or to make it stop.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't. They continued to carry on and do the right thing instead of heeding that temptation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that we need to do as well, because there are tons of temptations to just do the easy thing, do the pleasurable thing.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean it's the right thing.
True.
So that's what we covered this week.
Yeah.
And then we had some delicious soup.
Yes.
And some new friends come along. That was kind of nice.
It was so great.
And yeah. So if you're in the area, would like to join us, go ahead and put a comment and we can give you the deets for that. Otherwise, we will be here next week. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all that fun jazz. Comment down below what you would like to learn, or maybe you learned something from this and would like to share that. Yeah. We'd love to talk to you. So with that, we'll talk to you later. Bye.